Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's session, On-Prem DR versus Cloud DR, which fits your customer. I'm Praveen Kumar, Sales Solution Engineer at Infrascale, and over the next few minutes, we will break down how to position the right disaster recovery strategy based on customer requirements, business risk, recovery expectation, and budget. We'll compare the strength of traditional on-prem DR against modern cloud-based DR, look at real-world use cases, and help you identify which approach delivers the best value for a different customer environments. Today, we'll discuss one of the most important conversations MSPs and IT advisors are having with customers, choosing the right disaster recovery strategy. Before we jump into the comparison, let's quickly align on the key focus areas for today's discussion. First, we'll look at the different DR architecture choices available from traditional on-prem recovery to cloud-based disaster recovery models. Next, we will discuss how to match the right DR strategy to the customer's actual requirements, because every customer has different priorities around recovery time, budget, compliance, and infrastructure. And finally, the goal is to help you position the right solution confidently, not just from a technical perspective, but also from a business value standpoint. By the end of this session, you should have a clear understanding of when to recommend on-prem DR, when cloud DR makes more sense, and how Infrascale can support both the approaches effectively. Before discussing DR model, it's important to understand why this conversation has become critical. Today's businesses face multiple risks simultaneously: ransomware attacks, infrastructure failures, accidental deletion, compliance requirements, and increasing financial impact from downtime. Customers are no longer asking if they need DR. They are asking how fast can we recover, how much data can we afford to lose, and can we continue operating during a disruption. That brings us to the core DR expectations. RTO measures how quickly systems recover. RPO measures acceptable data loss. Availability ensures business continuity. Security protects backup integrity, and scalability ensures the solution grows with the business. And one of the most important messages for MSP is this: there is no universal DR model. The right solution depends on workload criticality, compliance, budget, recovery expectation, and infrastructure maturity. This is why discovery and customer alignment matter more than simply leading with technology. Let's look into the on-prem disaster recovery. In this architecture, workloads are backed up locally to an appliance, and recovery operations occur within the primary appliance or a secondary appliance deployed in the secondary customer co-location. The major advantage here is performance. Because recovery happens locally, latency is extremely low, restore speeds are very fast, and customers maintain greater infrastructure control. This model is especially valuable for legacy applications, latency-sensitive workloads, local data compliance requirement, and environment with limited internet bandwidth. However, on-prem DR also comes with operational responsibilities, higher infrastructure investment, hardware lifecycle management, maintenance overhead, and DR testing process. This approach is typically the best fit for government, manufacturing organizations, healthcare, financial institutions, law firms, etc., and customers with existing data center investments, and customer who needs to meet those data compliance and data residency. Here, the positioning is simple. On-prem DR is ideal for customers prioritizing performance, control, compliance, and local recovery speed. Now let's look at the cloud DR. In this model, backups are replicated securely into a cloud-based recovery environment. The biggest advantage of cloud DR is flexibility. Organizations benefits from lower upfront infrastructure cost, elastic scalability, geographic redundancy, simplified orchestration, and easier remote recovery. Deployment is also significantly faster because customers don't need to build and maintain a secondary DR site. Of course, Cloud DR introduces its own considerations: internet dependency, bandwidth-based recovery performance, ongoing cloud consumption costs, and potential data residency concerns. Cloud DR is commonly the best fit for SMBs, distributed workforce environments, MSP managed customers, and rapidly growing organizations. Again, the positioning is simple here. Cloud DR is best for customers seeking flexibility, simplified management, and scalable recovery capabilities. Let's look into the side-by-side comparison between the two. This is usually where customer conversation becomes much easier. On-Prem DR typically delivers the fastest recovery speed and lowest latency because everything stays local, but it also comes with higher upfront investment, more hardware dependency, and greater management effort. This model usually fits enterprise customers or a highly regulated environment that requires strong local control and compliance. Cloud DR, on the other hand, offers lower upfront cost, easier scalability, and simplified management. It's a strong fit for SMBs, distributed environments, customers looking for operational flexibility without building a second DR site. But the biggest sales takeaway here is don't lead with technology first. Instead, lead with business impact, understand the customer's downtime tolerance, compliance requirements, and recovery expectations. Once those are clear, the right DR model becomes much easier to position confidently. So there is no size fits all DR strategy. The right recommendation always depends on the customer's business priorities, recovery expectation, compliance needs, and operational model. For example, low latency or performance sensitive workload may align better with on-prem DR, while customers with remote offices, lean IT teams, or budget constraint often benefit more from cloud DR. In some cases, a hybrid approach provides the right balance between control and flexibility. This is where Infrascale adds strong value because we are able to support on-prem, cloud, and hybrid DR models from a unified platform with capabilities like flexible deployment options, ransom, cloud DR. In some cases, a hybrid approach provides the right balance between control and flexibility. This is where Infrascale adds strong value because we are able to support on-prem, cloud, and hybrid DR models from a unified platform with capabilities like flexible deployment options, ransomware recovery readiness, simplified orchestration, self-service DR testing, and MSP-friendly management. We help partners confidently align the right DR solution to each customer environment. And with that foundation in place, let's look into how we help customers choose the right DR model. The best DR solution is not necessarily the most advanced technology. It's a solution that best aligns with the customer's business reality and recovery expectations. When speaking with customers, focus on 4 key areas. First, align the DR strategy with the actual business needs. Second, ensure the solution can meet their recovery expectation and downtime tolerance. Third, consider the customer's operational maturity because not every organization has the same IT resources or management capabilities. And finally, position a solution that delivers confident and predictable DR outcomes. That's where Infrascale helps partners succeed by offering flexible DR options that adapt to different customer environment instead of forcing a one-size-fits-all approach. With Infrascale, partners have the flexibility to deliver on-prem, cloud, or hybrid DR from a unified platform while keeping recovery simple, scalable, and business-focused. Now that we have covered the positioning and decisioning framework, let's move into a short demo to see how this Infrascale translates into real-world DR experience and how we help simplify recovery operations in practice. Now, as you're looking into, this is the centralized management dashboard, which is offered to the customers and the partner so that they can manage all the solution from this dashboard. Once the customer chooses a right DR solution, we integrate that solution to our dashboard, and you can access the appliance which is deployed on the customer location under the site status. It will show you all the appliances. You can access the appliance through the settings page where you have the manage primary option. You select the primary options, and that will take you to the appliance dashboard. Appliance dashboard gives you an overview of how the solution is performing. Clients tab gives you all the server details which are configured for DR. Let's say if you're connecting to a VMware, you need to just enter the root IP address and the root credentials, and you establish a connection, and all the machines are auto-identified with Hyper-V and the VMware, and you need to just right-click and register for DR. So this is how simple the solution is. And the solution provides a native support for VMware and Hyper-V, so you don't need to install an agent on each machine, configure, etc. So it's a simple connect and register the solution. Once the registration is completed, it will show under the summary tab. And if you have a physical Windows boxes, you can install an agent and configure the agent on the physical Windows box, and you can configure it for DR. Under the edit tab, you get the option to edit the schedule, the primary retention, secondary DR retention, etc., which can be configured under the edit tab. Once the configuration is done, your backups will happen, and you'll also be able to get a report from the appliance which says whether the snapshot which have been taken, is it healthy or not. So what it does a verification of that image and deploys a VM on the appliance itself and test the integrity of that backup and provides you a report whether it is successful or failed, so that you can take necessary action if there is a failure. Now, the most important thing, how you can recover. So you can recover from the files and folder level. You can recover the entire VM, where you can either overwrite the existing VM on the VMware or the Hyper-V, or you can create a new VM under the VMware. So how you can do that? By using the restore option. So if you select the job which you want to restore, click next, select the resources, and you can go ahead and perform the restore. Select the restore path where you want to restore, and you can restore the VM on the VMware or the Hyper-V. You can also perform browse and restore, where you can go ahead and restore the OVF or VMDK VSD files, or you can restore the single files and folder, or if there is any application installed. You can either restore the full path or restore only selected items. So you can use the appliance network share to share the data with the end user. Okay, it's a read-only share which can be used to provide data to the end user. So they have to just connect to the restore path using the credentials, and they can download the data. Now, the most important option or the feature which helps the customer to continue the business without any disruption. How they can do? They can go to the boot tab, right-click, and boot. And they can select the job, select the resources. Once the resources are selected, select the network, the primary network, and select the MAC address, which will restore the entire system with the same configuration on the primary appliance, and you're connected to the network, and you get the time to replace your primary servers, whether you have to fix a hardware or you have to rebuild it, etc. You can do that while your business continues with the VM which is deployed on the appliance. Finally, you can also, if the customer has chosen a cloud as a DR solution, you can go ahead and access the cloud environment through the disaster recovery hyper cloud status, where you can use the orchestration tool. Orchestration tool can be used within the cloud console or on the on the dashboard itself. We have where you can have the orchestration feature, where you can create an orchestration plan based on your DR requirements and keep things ready and start the DR run, where it will spin the DR server and also start spinning up all the servers on the DR LAN. This is also a simple step, same process. And once you have booted the server on the cloud, you can access it through the secured VPN and connect to those VMs. So Infrascale offers you a DR solution which can fit with all type of environments based on the customer requirement, and we can achieve those DR requirement for the customer. Thank you so much for joining this session today. Have a wonderful day.